Hello everyone, this is Heroes Trivia. Welcome back to Season 4 of our subscriber game tournament as we continue here in Round 1 with Group C action. And in the 5th match here, we have Big Boy Roy in the green versus Crossface Mace in the red. Now these last two matches here are going to be very important as we have a very tightly contested group. And looking at the composition with Big Boy Roy, we have a thematic composition featuring Yuan Shu's army during the coalition against Dong Zhuo, with generals like Yuan Shu with his unique unit, the Rapid Tiger Infantry and the upgraded version. Then we have Huang Gai with Lance Cavalry, and finally Sun Jian with a Tiger Guard to boost the generals and to Protector of Heaven. Then looking at the red side for Crossface Mace, he has a change to his composition where he typically have so far brought Liu Bei, Zhang Fei, and Zhang Liao. In this case, he went with a full Shu Han thematic composition of Liu Bei, Wei Yan, and Ma Chao. And instead of bringing a mix of Protector of Heaven and Yellow Dragon and Liu Bei, we're going with 4 Yellow Dragons, and then we have Heavy Spear Guards and Azure Dragons on Wei Yan, and finally cheap Raider Cav on Ma Chao. We'll see how this composition works, as we'll have 2 thematic armies clashing on the battlefield for this one. Now, as we load into game here, we see that both sides have actually deployed a little bit farther than their initial deployment zone, and they're going to clash right away, as we have Vanguard deployment by Crossface Mace with Ma Chao and Wei Yan, as well as majority of his cavalry and his Azure Dragons, which has ability to shoot fire arrows, and then the Heavy Spear Guard behind. The one unit that can't forward deploy because it doesn't have Vanguard deployment, Liu Bei and the Yellow Dragons are in reserve. And on the other side, for Big Boy Roy, we have him pushing at the edge of his deployment box as well. Cavalry in the front with Huang Gai, who has a very interesting ability. The firebomb actually is a hit or miss. If you land the projectiles directly in a cluster of infantry, you can burn everyone alive, but oftentimes the scatter on that cluster is very wild, and you might just miss with that. We'll see if there's any good firebomb in this match. But aside from that, he does have Flame the Phoenix, which is a very good AoE clear and a very good battle axe. Sun Jian, Unbreakable, comes with Flame the Phoenix, comes with a very good charge bonus. The infantry are top notch with a Protector as well as the Rapid Tiger. They're actually good in melee. They're bad against range, which is why they're bad in campaign. But in multiplayer, where you usually don't have range matchups, the Warriors of the left and the Rapid Tiger Infantry is actually a very solid unit. So pretty underrated. Now Yuan Shu, unfortunately, just not going to be very strong. He's a standard commander with the basic commander abilities. So let's see how this battle goes. So Azure Dragon is going to dictate the initial fight because it does have the fire arrows. Everyone's being pulled up except for this not getting dragged. So I feel like this is not in a group, but he just dragged his mouth to kind of micro this. Yeah, the fire arrow into the trees, definitely very annoying, and the fire damage is going to make them push out. The firebomb usage, I want to see if it lands. You can see it's clustered, and we barely got... Oh, actually the continuous burn killed... Wow, the continuous burn killed off half of them. It's hit or miss, but yeah, it can be that great. There's a long cooldown for this ability, 2 minutes, and I think there's only 3 usage. But that was definitely a very good usage. Tiger Guard in the front to protect the generals, but you can see the tree burning is going to be a problem because you're going to have the units kind of having nearby fire, hurting the morale, and also eventually burn damage. The infantry are crossing the river. These cavalry are still hidden, I believe. I guess Tiger Guard is the best unit to put up here to take the damage. The Heavy Spear Guards are pushing up. A lot of spear units on this side. The cavalry can't really target anyone, so they're going to loop around. They can definitely charge the Yellow Dragons. That is a good target. You can see this Forgotten one here. Unfortunately, I think the way Crossface Mace is microing his units is a little bit off. Ooh, they're not charging into the target. They're getting charged. That's unfortunate. Landing a charge is very important. That charge bonus, that number right there, is going to be added to your attack for about 10-20 seconds. And you want that to kind of help you erase the enemy. So you can see when you get a charge, I mean, they'll have some charge resistance. Ooh, counter charge by the cavalry. Yeah, another thing about the Warrior of the Left and Rapid Tiger infantry is they don't really counter cavalry. So I think with Big Boy Roy, I think the issue we can spot right now is that he's not landing charges, which is giving up a huge disadvantage because Yellow Dragon landed their charge. You can see how rapidly they kill them. Alright, we got the bonus given right before the charge. Should have been timed better with all the other units. Now we have Yuan Shu being targeted. Now they are fighting near a Tiger Guard, so that is good. They should actually try to dismount and fight back. Oh, we have a dismount. We have a dismount. Alright, AoE ability. Now that AoE is not actually that good. Reckless Strike, you give up some of your health, and it's not a circular splash. It's more of a dueling ability. Sun Jian's too committed to Liu Bei. He's getting pulled away, yeah. They should actually just keep the fight close, hunt down Ma Chao if given the chance. While guys come in to turn some of the numbers. The Yellow Dragon have won, but they got sort of pulled away by the routing cavalry, so now they're trying to rejoin the fight. And we have a trade of charges here. I actually kind of like Warrior of the Left in this matchup. We got the Roar being stacked by Ma Chao. They could actually counter roar this. The unit size definitely winning. Maybe they can clean out the generals. Yuan Shu was not joining this fight. He should. He has a lot of good boosting abilities. It's going to matter who's dismounted and who's actually hitting target. So Sun Jian is dismounted, but he's getting into match combat with the other units. He's not getting focused on the generals. This is not great. Flame of the Phoenix used by both sides to clear up some of the infantry. Yeah, super distracted right now. Trying to save Huang Gai, pulling the Tiger Guard to try to give them the guard passive. I mean, yeah, dismounting is smart, but if you're not going to hit the generals, then not the smartest use. Because if you're just going to fight units, on the horseback is better. You get the charge damage. I think the Warrior of the Left can win this. And now we elevated this to a general fight. The other units are swarming. Ooh, good AoE there. I don't know. I feel like Sun Jian's being wasted to kill units. That boost is very clutch. Now, the overlapping of these two abilities is not a good idea. You're not getting anything from Stone Bulwark. You actually want to wait this out to give your units unbreakable after this one expires. Yeah, he has died. Now, is Sun Jian actually going to hit generals? Yes, he is. Okay, so that is good. Fighting within units is also good. Now, how are those? I guess they're not all microed back. The one that did micro back did just die. We saw it. Now, this one also kind of over-chased. The other one's fighting over here. This was one that was in reserve and lost. Now, I actually think the Rapid Tiger and plus the Protector actually has a good chance against that. Counter AoE. They can kill him here. I think they can. There we go. Wei Yan's down. Now, does he still have his Flame of the Phoenix active? He does. Yeah, that's gonna matter. You can see that just took off a huge chunk. Now, without any units to support him, can Liu Bei stay here? Liu Bei needs to dismount. Oh, this is not going well for Liu Bei. He's not getting the knocks, and he's just getting hit. The problem is the attack speed. Every unit have a set attack speed, but when you're on horseback, your attack speed is not real because most of the time you're just empty charging, right? You're trying to charge. If you sit here, then you get attack speed. But then even when you do get attack speed, you can see there's so much match combat where they do the animations for different kills. That slows down your attack speed, but there's no match combat. Like there's no cool beheading when you're fighting a cavalry unit when you're on foot. Oh, another nice AoE attack with Flame of Phoenix. So if Liu Bei just stands here and fights Sun Jian, Sun Jian gets to use pretty much true attack speed, and Liu Bei doesn't. Now, does he have enough health? They're both unbreakable. They're both super close. Liu Bei gets killed. Not surprised, just because Liu Bei was on horseback. That was the big difference. 3.8k. Can he take another unit of Yellow Dragon? It seems like Protector didn't get a charge command. I think Big Boy Roy and his charge command has issues. So he's not going to escape this, but he should buy time to... he should run the other way. See if he can wear this out without losing the rest of 2.2k health. Oh, he got another cooldown off of that. He did go down, but he left behind a Flame of the Phoenix. Now it's 1v1. Protector versus Yellow Dragon. Who can land the charge? Who can get the kill? Maybe throw out the traps. That'd be actually kind of funny. Oh, they threw the traps. Okay, throw them back. There's not much damage on them, but there's a slowing effect. Now you don't want to charge through this. There's traps on both sides. So you can see he's trying to avoid the traps, but he's giving up the charge. You can see how slow it is. Oh, they're now charging each other. Okay. This is just a macho fight between the Yellow Dragon versus the Protectors, which favors the Protectors. We've seen this matchup before in a previous group. It's just the defensive difference. It's too wide. There's almost no armor. There's almost no evasion versus a ton of armor, a ton of evasion. And it's just not really a fair fight here. I want to say even if Sun Jian didn't get that Flame of the Phoenix off, I think this result would have been very similar. But very closely contested match here. I think there was micro mistake on both sides here and there. Nothing too major. The general usage was very interesting. I think that might have been the big difference with Sun Jian being dismounted versus Liu Bei at the end there. Wei Yan, Ma Chao did okay. See, there's decent kills on both. Huang Gai made most of his kills on that first throw. Didn't do too much after. Yuanshu actually didn't do too much either. There was a spamming of the ability, which I think was a little bit overkill. Could have been spaced out for better effect to give your unit longer duration of unbreakable. But you can see some units fought to the end. Now this actually means there was a unit that was over chasing and being pulled way too far, which is what happened to some of these Yellow Dragons. Micro lapses, basically. One unit not getting grabbed very early on in the battle was one of the mistakes. Having them group would have been a lot better. And then after they won their initial exchange, they wasn't, pulled back to join the fight elsewhere to kind of extend that advantage with numbers when you had it. And then the battle just kind of broke down from there. We did get to see a pretty nice firebomb, which is always interesting. I think we've seen maybe in the last tournament where Huang Gai pulled off some really crazy siege battles where he was able to toss firebombs into a nice cluster of unit and score many kills. But overall, very close match, probably one of the closest we've seen so far, and it's going to play a big part in this group. As we have Big Boy Roy picking up his second win, while Crossface Mace will finish the group 1 and 2 alongside Sylvia Bear. Our final match between Big Boy Roy and Beihai Butcher is going to determine the group. Either we have two 2-1 finishers who will advance as first and second place, or we might have Big Boy Roy ending the group with a 3-0 record and giving us a 3-way tie for second through fourth, which will really complicate the way the group will advance. But we'll see what happens with that last match. So until then, bye!